What happens when the moon's rebirth and the sun's shadow arrive at the same moment? March 29, 2025 isn't just a date, it's a cosmic invitation. The super new moon and solar eclipse are forming a double portal of galactic importance, and Dr. Georgia Ade brings forward the knowledge your soul has been waiting to hear. You're not imagining the intensity. It's real, it's happening, and it's reshaping reality. In this video, we will unveil 18 critical truths about this rare event that will align your consciousness, activate your higher self, and prepare you to walk boldly through this gateway of transformation. Star-coded date of activation. Long before modern astrology tracked lunar cycles or solar paths, ancient civilizations carved this day into stone through myth and sky lore. The Mayans, Egyptians, and Vedic seers all referenced dates where solar-lunar alignments would open star doors, rare thresholds where souls could reset their evolution. March 29, 2025 is one of those star-coded moments. This date holds a vibrational signature embedded with cosmic instruction, guiding Earth's frequency into the next octave of awakening. You may have felt this approaching long before now. An inner countdown, a whisper in dreams, or heightened intuition pulling you towards something undefined. That feeling is your inner star map activating. Each soul carries embedded light codes, waiting for exact frequency patterns to awaken them. This event triggers those patterns. You're not just watching a solar eclipse, you're standing at the edge of a spiritual realignment encoded before your birth. Georgia Ade reminds us that this is not about superstition or spectacle. It's about remembrance. Your body is already responding to this alignment. Your spirit is already preparing for it. The star code is in motion. As the sun, moon, and earth align, so must you. The gateway is not just above you, it's within you. And this moment is your cosmic signal to step forward and activate the purpose written in your soul. Dual forces, one gateway. The super new moon brings silence and intention. The solar eclipse brings mystery and transformation. But when they happen together, they don't just coexist. They create a unified field of energy strong enough to bend spiritual laws. This rare fusion forms a corridor between realms, where density dissolves and clarity accelerates. You're not just experiencing an eclipse, you're walking into a frequency chamber that transcends dimension. The moon's gravitational pull amplifies intention and emptiness. The sun's temporary blackout amplifies revelation and reset. Together, they create what the Pleiadians refer to as the binary gate, a moment where the soul is either expanded into light or pulled deeper into old programming. It's not a punishment. It's a reflection. Who you are when you step into this gateway decides who you become on the other side. Dr. Georgia Ade emphasizes preparation, not through fear, but through focus. This is not a time to chase distractions. It's a time to center. When two powerful forces align, the frequency field becomes hypersensitive. Your thoughts, emotions, and energetic hygiene now matter more than ever. In this gateway, you are the key, the lock, and the door all at once. Choose your vibration wisely. Timeline compression begins now. When celestial bodies align like this, they don't just affect the sky. They compress the spiritual experience of time. March 29 marks a convergence point where past, present, and future begin folding into each other. What once took years to manifest may now unfold in days. What seemed far away is suddenly right here. The universe is narrowing the gap between thought and reality to prepare souls for multidimensional existence. You may feel as if everything is speeding up. Projects, relationships, or internal decisions that felt distant may now press urgently into your awareness. That urgency is not pressure, it's precision. The compression of time during this portal means that your spiritual path is moving rapidly toward key junctions. Missed lessons will resurface, and aligned opportunities will reveal themselves in unexpected ways. It's not chaos. It's orchestration at the highest level. Georgia 8 encourages you to become deeply intentional during this phase. Choose your thoughts like you would choose tools for sacred ritual. The reality you build now will expand quickly. If you're distracted, your energy fragments. But if you're aligned, even one focused breath can become the seed of transformation. Time is not shrinking to rush you. It's collapsing to awaken you. Light body DNA upgrade. The solar eclipse and supernew moon are not just energy. They are delivery systems for light intelligence. Every ray filtered through the eclipse carries packets of high-frequency plasma that interact with your biophotonic field. This light doesn't just shine on you, it speaks to you. And more importantly, it speaks to the dormant strands of your DNA that have waited lifetimes to be awakened. These light codes carry sacred geometry, star language, and healing templates. They enter through your crown chakra, flow through your spine, and gently nudge open the crystalline architecture of your higher DNA. You may feel this as buzzing in your body, pressure in your head, or a sense of expansion in your chest. These are not symptoms, they are signs. You are upgrading from carbon-based biology to light-integrated consciousness. Georgia 8 reminds you, this is not science fiction. It is sacred evolution. The human body was designed to evolve with light, and this celestial event is one of the rare triggers that initiates that process. Hydrate, ground, meditate, allow. Your DNA is listening, and the universe is finally speaking at a frequency your soul has always understood. Now it's time for your body to remember. Lunar chamber of renewal. The supernew moon is not just a reset. It is a vacuum of possibility. Spiritually, it is the chamber of silence between endings and beginnings. During this phase, the moon vanishes from sight, offering no reflected light, only pure potential. In the language of the soul, this is the void space, the quantum womb where new frequencies gestate before birth. This is the perfect time to release, renew, and reprogram the field around you. Many underestimate the power of lunar darkness. Without distraction, without reflection, the energy field becomes hypersensitive. Your intentions now are written directly into the vibrational ether. Georgia 8 explains that this is a window for spiritual purification. Old patterns, grief, fears, even ancestral burdens can be dissolved simply by acknowledging them in stillness. This chamber holds nothing, but can create everything. To enter this renewal space consciously, practice quietude. No forcing, no asking, simply being. Allow what is false to fall away. What is true will remain. This is where your higher self whispers between the beats of your breath. You are not creating a new version of yourself. You are removing the layers that once convinced you to forget who you really are. The shadow teaches light. When the moon eclipses the sun, ancient wisdom says the shadow becomes the teacher. For a few sacred minutes, the brightest force in our sky is covered, and what remains is silence, shadow, and revelation. This darkness is not evil. It is reflective. It invites us to see what we ignore when blinded by light. The eclipse doesn't block your power. It unveils where you've been hiding it. You may notice during this time that emotions arise unexpectedly. Hidden wounds, forgotten truths, or suppressed memories surface. Georgia 8 explains that this is not regression. It's initiation. The shadow, when honored, becomes the portal to your light. By facing what you usually avoid, you create space for transmutation. The darkness becomes the canvas where divine light is painted anew. Eclipse energy reveals contrast. What's false what's outdated, what's unworthy of your current frequency. Don't fear it, thank it. The shadow gives you eyes that light cannot. This temporary veil is your ally in becoming whole. You are not here to run from your shadow. You are here to walk with it, learn from it, and turn it into wisdom. Astral realms now active. As the veil thins around the eclipse, the astral planes surge with activity. You may feel it in your dreams, symbols intensifying, colors more vivid, messages arriving from beings you can't explain. The Pleiadians call this an astral bloom, where the upper dimensions of consciousness begin pushing into the lower ones. Your soul is being summoned into other realms for remembrance, teaching, and recalibration. Sleep becomes sacred. Naps feel like time travel. Georgia Eade notes that many lightworkers report visiting temples, ancient schools, or starships in their sleep during eclipse portals. This is not fantasy. It is multidimensional service. Your soul is operating in layers your mind doesn't yet translate. These realms offer you tools, truths, and codes that later integrate into your waking reality through intuition and synchronicity. To work with this energy, set intentions before sleep. Ask for clarity. Keep a dream journal by your bed. And more importantly, trust the feeling that something is happening even if you can't describe it. You are receiving updates beyond language, and your spirit team is actively guiding you through the astral corridors. You're not sleeping through this portal, you're traveling through it. Silent signals from Source. In this double portal, messages from Source don't arrive in thunder, they arrive in silence. You might suddenly feel chills for no reason, or sense time stretching and contracting. These are silent codes embedded in stillness, bypassing your intellect and reaching your divine intelligence. Source doesn't shout, it pulses. And those pulses are intensifying during this alignment. Georgia Eade emphasizes that during this time, the most sacred wisdom comes not from books or voices, but from presence. A sudden knowing, a flash of peace, a phrase whispered through your intuition. These are not coincidences. These are your instructions. You're not being tested, you're being tuned. Source is broadcasting directly to your energetic field. To fully receive these silent signals, practice deep listening. Not with your ears, but with your entire being. Remove distractions. Touch the earth. Sit in the sun. Stand in the stillness. The more silence you create, the louder the guidance becomes. What you hear in these moments could change everything, because it is coming from the source that wrote your soul into existence. In these transmissions, words may fail, but your heart understands. This is divine resonance speaking in the language of eternity. Trust what moves you in the silence. It's the voice of Source remembering itself through you. Earth grid is awakening. As above, so below, the energies flooding from the cosmos are also activating Earth's own spiritual nervous system. Known as the planetary grid or ley lines, these energetic pathways are awakening during this eclipse window. Sacred sites, power points, and crystalline energy centers across the planet are pulsing with new frequencies, syncing with the celestial codes above. You may feel drawn to certain locations, even if you've never been there. You might experience spontaneous connection to ancient temples, pyramids, or sacred mountains. Georgia Eade explains that these places aren't just historical, they are multidimensional memory keepers. They hold the blueprints for collective human evolution. As these sites awaken, they call to the souls aligned with their purpose. Even if you aren't physically near these sites, you're still connected. The Earth's grid flows through every living being. Meditate with intention. Visualize golden light flowing through your feet into the core of Gaia. Feel her rise to meet you. You are not just a witness to her awakening. You are part of it. As she ascends, so do you. Emotional storm equals energy flush. Don't be surprised if old emotions flood in unexpectedly. Grief, anger, joy, fear. This is your energy body flushing stored trauma to make space for the new. The eclipse energy, amplified by the lunar pull, works like a spiritual detox. It shakes the emotional layers of your being, and what rises is not weakness, it's weight that no longer serves your next frequency. Many people resist these waves, assuming something is wrong. But Georgia Ede teaches us that this emotional surfacing is not regression, it's resurrection. You are being empty to be filled. Let the tears fall, the laughter come, the sorrow move. These aren't just feelings, they are frequencies in motion, moving you closer to vibrational clarity. The key is not to attach stories to them. Just witness, breathe, and allow. Your emotions are messengers, not masters. In releasing them, you become a clearer vessel for the eclipse's transmissions. What once overwhelmed you now becomes the offering you give to the universe. And in that surrender, you become aligned with the storm's deeper gift, purification. Mind reset in stillness. The most underestimated power during a portal like this is stillness. While the world spins in urgency and cosmic energy intensifies, the soul craves quiet. This stillness is not passive, it's alchemical. In moments of still presence, the mind recalibrates. It stops clinging to what was and begins opening to what could be. The super new moon and solar eclipse create a sacred pressure that strips away mental noise and forces a deep return to truth. Stillness is where you meet your higher mind, not the analytical mind, but the divine intelligence that speaks in pulses, visuals, and knowing. As Georgia Ede emphasizes, this isn't about meditation in the traditional sense. It's about energetic listening. Thoughts slow, breath deepens, and suddenly your mind begins to remember its role not as master, but as translator of spiritual reality. This reset often feels disorienting at first. You might forget details, feel detached, or sense time folding in unusual ways. That's a good sign. It means the linear mind is softening, making room for multidimensional processing. You are shifting from surface thinking to quantum cognition, where truths arrive instantly rather than through steps or logic. If you embrace the stillness, your mind becomes not just quieter, but clearer. Ideas will flow, patterns will dissolve, fears will feel less sticky. You'll begin to experience thought as frequency, not noise. That is the beginning of mental ascension, when your mind no longer reacts from survival, but creates from spirit. Pineal gland light surge. At the center of your brain lies a sacred crystal, the pineal gland, your spiritual antenna. During solar and lunar events, this gland is bathed in subtle electromagnetic radiation and plasma light. You may feel pressure between your eyebrows, spontaneous tingling, or even flashes of light with closed eyes. These aren't illusions. They are signs that your pineal gland is decoding higher dimensional data streaming in from the cosmos. The pineal is often called the seat of the soul for a reason. It bridges the physical and etheric, enabling you to access intuition, soul memory, and even clairvoyant perception. Georgia Ede explains that during this portal, the pineal becomes temporarily hyperactivated. The darkness of the eclipse removes light-based distractions, allowing inner vision to bloom. What you may experience are not dreams, they are transmissions. This light surge upgrades how you perceive reality. Colors may appear brighter. Time may feel dreamlike. Symbols, animals, or patterns may repeatedly show up around you. These are pineal-triggered synchronicities, personal codes meant to confirm your alignment. The more you honor them, the stronger your internal sight becomes. To nourish this process, reduce artificial light. Avoid fluoride and toxic media. Sit under the sky and let natural light recalibrate your rhythms. Your third eye is awakening not just to see, but to remember. With every eclipse and new moon, it clears the fog from your soul's lens. And in that clarity, truth is no longer sought. It simply arrives. Quantum choice point appears. One of the most powerful aspects of the eclipse portal is the arrival of a quantum choice point. This is not a decision made from logic, but from alignment. Your soul reaches a fork in the energetic timeline, and you get to choose which reality you step into. These aren't visible crossroads in your outer world. They're inner calibrations, subtle but permanent. You may suddenly feel a pull to leave behind an old way of thinking, a draining relationship, or a repeating pattern. You might not know exactly where the new path leads, but you know the old one no longer fits. Georgia Ade teaches that these moments are encoded into our soul contracts. When celestial energies reach a certain threshold, dormant timelines become available, but only if we consciously align with them. The choice is not about control, it's about resonance. Ask yourself, does this thought, action, or emotion match who I am becoming? If the answer is no, release it with love. If it's yes, walk forward without hesitation. In the quantum field, even a small shift in frequency realigns your entire reality trajectory. This is why presence matters. The choice point often comes not in fireworks, but in whispers. But once chosen, the reality that unfolds is exponentially more aligned, graceful, and true. You are not deciding what happens. You are declaring what you are ready to hold. That declaration ripples into timelines far beyond what you can yet see. Oversoul memory returns fast. As the eclipse thins the veil, many souls begin receiving memories that don't fit this lifetime. Visions of ancient temples, healing symbols, forgotten talents. This is the return of Oversoul memory, where fragments of your multidimensional self begin to reintegrate. It's like watching a movie you forgot you starred in, now playing again on the screen of your consciousness. You might suddenly remember how to do something you never learned. You may be drawn to specific civilizations, star systems, or spiritual traditions. Georgia Ade affirms that these aren't coincidences, they're signals. The Oversoul has stored every skill, lesson, and timeline you've ever lived. And now the portal is allowing them to trickle, or pour, back in. This can be exhilarating, but also overwhelming. Be patient with what arises. Journal, paint, dance, pray, anything that helps you express these codes without analyzing them. These memories carry energy more than explanation. They awaken your cellular knowledge, activate dormant gifts, and gently remind you of your role in this grand spiritual shift. As your Oversoul returns, you may also notice shifts in how you see others. Recognition, forgiveness, or deep compassion may flood your heart. That's because you're no longer seeing them as separate. You're remembering the eternal fabric you both belong to. In this remembering, the old stories dissolve, and what remains is truth. Manifestation becomes instant now. During ordinary days, manifestation unfolds slowly. Thoughts gradually shape matter through time. But under the intensity of this eclipse and super new moon, that delay collapses. Thought becomes blueprint. Emotion becomes command. This is manifestation in its raw, immediate form. You'll find your environment, your interactions, and even your inner state responding with uncanny speed to what you focus on. That's why emotional clarity is crucial. Georgia Ade emphasizes that intention must be sharp, not vague. If you're projecting fear, you may magnetize challenges. But if you're radiating purpose, The universe mirrors that momentum almost instantly. The portal isn't granting wishes, it's amplifying frequencies. This is an opportunity to move with sacred responsibility. Visualize outcomes with emotional embodiment. Don't just say what you want, feel it, breathe it, align your actions with it. This energetic field is not measuring your words, it's scanning your vibration. And during this alignment, the universe responds to coherence, not confusion. Use this moment to see timelines from your soul, not your ego. Manifest healing, not escape. Call in clarity, not noise. The super new moon clears space. The eclipse injects power. Together, they become a mirror to your core. Avoid outer chaos trap. As the portal opens wider, so too does the chaos of the collective. Distractions multiply. Fear-based narratives rise. People lash out or spiral into confusion. This is not coincidence. It's the effect of light pressure purging old systems. But if you're not centered, you may get caught in that turbulence and mistake it for your truth. Georgia Ade advises strong spiritual boundaries during this window. Not walls, but filters. Be discerning with your energy, attention, and conversations. You don't need to shut out the world, but you must not absorb its distortions. The outer noise will tempt you to react, defend, or abandon your center. That is the trap. The wise remain still amid the storm. They don't argue with illusions. They dissolve them by choosing alignment. As old paradigms collapse, they often scream on the way down. But screaming does not mean power. It means desperation. Don't confuse the volume of fear with the voice of truth. Your job now is not to fight the chaos, but to hold a higher template in its midst. Be the calm. Be the frequency of peace. In doing so, you protect your field and create a ripple of clarity that others can feel. You are not here to drown in the noise. You are here to transmit signal. Soul anchoring after eclipse. Once the portal peaks and the light returns, the most important work begins: anchoring. The downloads, activations, and shifts you've received are like seeds in fertile ground. But they must now be tended, integrated, and embodied. Without grounding, these energies remain potential. With presence, they become transformation. You might feel strangely calm or deeply tired. That's not fatigue. It's recalibration. Georgia Ade explains that the nervous system and auric field need time to adjust to new frequencies. You're not just processing information, you're learning how to live as a higher version of yourself. Anchor this by being intentional with rest, food, movement, and breath. Let your actions reflect your inner upgrade. Speak with care. Move with awareness. Declutter your environment. Choose content that aligns with your new vibration. These small acts are not mundane. They are sacred rituals that stabilize the energy you've received. This is not the end of the portal, it's the beginning of integration. As the days pass, listen to what your body and spirit need. Some energies may ask for solitude. Others may urge expression. Either way, know this: the eclipse gave you codes, but you decide what you build with them. Anchoring means walking your frequency into the physical world, and that truly is mastery. You are the portal. Perhaps the greatest truth of all is this: the portal is not in the sky. It's not the eclipse, not the moon, not the sun. It's you. You are the doorway through which light enters this world. You are the bridge between Earth and cosmos. This entire celestial choreography is awakening what has always lived inside you. Georgia Ade reminds us that we are not just here to observe the portal. We are here to embody it. Your consciousness, when aligned, opens pathways for others. Your energy, when elevated, creates harmonic resonance across timelines. You are not passive in this event. You are part of the activation grid itself. This is the moment to drop the illusion of smallness. You are not waiting for a sign. You are the sign. You are not hoping for a miracle. You are the living miracle, unfolding in real time. Everything you've ever prepared for in lifetimes past leads to this, becoming the portal, becoming the light. So as the sky darkens and then glows again, as the moon vanishes and the sun returns, remember this: you hold both within you. You are the shadow and the light. You are the silence and the song. And this moment, this sacred eclipse, is not just something you witness. It is something you are.